Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Casey back again with another exciting video, and welcome back to our Pretty Simple Music channel, where my #1 goal is to simplify your musical journey. So in step 1, I want to make sure that we're all walking at the same pace and that I'm not talking too fast or moving too fast for you guys. So let's make sure we have our basics. This is a C major chord. This is a G major chord. This is a minor chord. And then last but not least, this is an F major chord. A lot of musicians get hung up on this. Why do all the songs sound the same? Well, I'm giving you some tools to break out of that rut, okay? So let me give you an example. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. Watch this. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You can keep going. Watch this. Waymaker, miracle worker. My God, that is who you are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys some replacement chords so you're not playing the same basic chords. Now, there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple. You all know Pretty Simple Music. We believe that there is power in simplicity and that less is more. But sometimes you want to take your playing up a notch and you want to put some extra spice. Now, hold on real quick. I want to let you guys know that step 1 is definitely for my absolute beginners, but it is the foundation for everything that I'm going to go through in this video. Step 2 is for my intermediate musicians, okay? And step 3, things are going to get super crazy, and I'm going to give some advanced techniques to really spice up some of these basic chords. So even if you're an absolute beginner, I don't want you to be discouraged, but I do want to raise your level of expectation of what is possible when you play using formulas. My solution to the basic So what we're going to do is I'm going to introduce 2, 4, 6, 1. Now, you're like, what is 2, 4, 6, 1? Well, in the key of C, here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. Let's do that one more time. And this is called the C major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the 2, 2, 4, 6, and 1. So watch this. Here's my 2 chord, because here's my 1, here's the 2, and this is called a D minor chord, and we're going to go to the 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to play an F major, and then we're going to play our 6 chord. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is our A minor chord, and then last but not least, we're going to go up to the 8 or the 1. So watch this. So when we did that song, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Now I'm gonna show you the basic way. So step 1 is the 2, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Now the same thing. How great is our God. This pattern works for almost every song. I promise you. Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine. Heir of salvation, amazing grace, how sweet. So you get the gist that this replaces that same boring pattern 1, 5, 6, 4 or 4, 6, 1, 5. Again, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to offer a solution. So step 2, what we're going to do is I'm going to spread this chord out a little bit, and we have that same D minor chord, but we're going to add this right here. So this turns into a D minor 7. Now what did I do there? Here's my 4 chord, and I'm going to skip 1, and this becomes the F major 7. And the same thing with our A minor, add or skip 1, then this becomes an A minor 7, and then So if you look at this, this is super simple. But anyway, you guys get the gist. So step 2, all we're gonna do is we're gonna add the 7th. And this is just conditioning your ear. Now when step 3 is where things get really, really interesting. We're really gonna take things up a notch. But before we do, I would love for you guys to subscribe to this channel if you're new here. We're here every Monday, and I'm super excited to have you here. If you'd like, give me a thumbs up, and also leave a comment below. I'm always encouraged by your comments, and I promise to reply to as many as I can. So with that being said and done, let's jump into step 3. So in step 3, instead of playing our basic 7th chords, I'm going to give you guys some formulas. And this is a little bit of a secret. This is how I like to envision playing certain chords. So I'm gonna play a 4/2. So let's talk this through. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're gonna play F major over the 2. Now, that sounds super basic, but I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna spice it up, all right? So 4/2, just remember this formula, 4/2. And then the next formula is 1/4. And notice my 1 is not the root, not first inversion, but second inversion. So let's 4/2, 1/4. Now watch this next one. This is a 1/6. So back to the 1/6. And then last but not least, 5/1. And notice this 5 is G major, first, second inversion. So let's talk this through one more time. One more time, slow. And again, you have the PDF to follow along with this. I promise. I'm gonna take my time and give you each of these chords in that PDF. Now, what can we do with our left hand? We're gonna play what they call dominant 7th chords or 7th chords. So, the easy way to do this in C, listen to me, the easy way to do this in C is whatever note you're playing, put 3 in between and play 1. And that's called a 5th, technically. All right, but just in case you're an absolute beginner, put 3 notes in between, and then you're gonna skip 1. And then we went to the 4, put 3 in between, skip 1. Let's go to A, 3 in between, skip 1. And then C, 3 in between, skip 1. Now that is not the traditional theory because that's not gonna work in all the other keys, but I want to get you moving even if you're an absolute beginner. These are called 5ths, and then when you put this here, that turns into a 7th. So this turns into a D7. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Listen to that. So that's my 2 chord. How great is our God. Sing with me. Watch this. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And I'm just playing random notes within that key that I'm using. So let's slow this down. So step 3, we want to add in some notes. So I got my 4/2. Now what can I do here? This is an F major chord, and I'm going to add in a 2. Because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3, 5. I want to add a 2. And then I might, watch this, I'm going to add a 7 too. Woo! This turns into a D minor 9, 11. All of that is just a 4/2, and I'm just adding in some goodies to it. So that's 4/2. Now I said 1/4. Now what can I do here? I can add in. So I have my C major chord here, and I'm gonna add the 6 and the 9th. So watch this. And this turns into an F major 9 with the 13. And all I'm doing is the 1/4, and I'm adding in those juicy notes. All right, so let's review, because we're gonna do this in every key. So 1, next chord is 1/4, and then watch this. And I can do the same thing here. Remember 1/6, and I'm gonna add the 2 and add the 7. And then last but not least, that turns into A minor 9, 11. Last but not least, we'll go to our 5/1. So G, second inversion, and I'm gonna add the 2nd or the 9th, and I'll add the 6 there too. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and I'll add the 2, and so that turns into a G6 with a 9, but this is gonna be over the 1. So let's take our time. If you're absolute beginner, I promise my heart is to serve you. And I can't baby you along all the way. I gotta give you something challenging. So this is 4 over 2, and I'm gonna add in these notes because I wanna take this up a notch, even further than this for my intermediate musician. And then 1 over 4, and then watch this. We added those notes, and then 1 over 6, and I added in some notes there, the 7th and the 9th. And then last but not least, our 5 chord. Now, once you get a hang of this, I want you to take it up to each key. And again, in that PDF, I'm gonna literally give you all 4 of these chords. So that would be, and I think I did a 1 over 6, 5 over, it makes it so much easier to play in other keys when you have the formula. For example, in the key of E flat, 4 over 2, and add the juiciness. And then what do we say over the 4? 1 over 4, and add in the juiciness. And then 1 over 6. And if you're absolute beginner, you're blown away right now, but I promise you, follow along in that PDF and it'll help you out. 1 over 6, and then 5 over 1. So my goal is for you to be able to play that pattern in all 12 keys. So let's go back to the key of C, because I want to add some juice to it. Y'all ready? 4 over 2, do the chord, the 7th chord. And then I'm gonna do my 4 over 2, and I'm gonna add in some notes. Twinkle, so this is my 4 over 2. Twinkle, 1 over 4, and then add in your notes. Woo! F major 9 with the 13. Little. This is an A minor 9 with the 11th. This is a 1 over 6, and add in the juiciness. Little star, 5 over 1. So let's put this together. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great. So that's why when you heard me play those different nuances, I'm just bouncing off of this F. You can move it up here. I'm just being very cautious to play exactly what I'm teaching here. So a lot of you guys, you've heard me do this in other keys. How great is our God? Sing with me. Watch this. How great is our God? You guys remember this from the Dirty Chords video. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great. That's a whole video I have called Dirty Chords, where I teach you how to create those infinite nuances and those infinite chords. Now, I want to make sure that you guys understand the 3-step process. I don't want to be a musician that shows off. So ultimately, let's review. Step 1, you play a 2, 4, 6, 1. Step 2, we added the 7th. So it's like hit 1, skip 1, 2, 4 major 7, A minor 7, and then C major 7. And then step 3 is where we put in the juice, right? We did a 4 over 2, the formula. 1 over 4, 1 over 6, and 5 over 1. And again, you have this PDF. I promise I'm giving you the juiciness. And this is what we came up with. We did that 4 over 2, and we added in the juice or chord extensions. And then we did this, and then this. And again, you are free to play whatever you want. I don't want you to sound just like me. This is a 5 over 1. You can do any inversion you want. You can add any notes that you want. All right. So ultimately, I want you to be creative in whatever it is that you play. This is a nice substitution for the basic 1 chord. You never have to do that anymore. Happy birthday to, not you. Happy birthday to you. Free flow. And again, we covered these movements in the How to Flow video. I did a whole breakdown on what to play here. So with all that being said and done, you all know I love you so much, and I never like to close out any video without letting you know that I love you and that today is a new day, a new life, and a new opportunity for you to become a better you. I'll see you guys on next week, and we'll be talking about cluster chords a little bit more in detail. So I love you guys. See you then.